You can introduce.
I'm Chad, that's JD, and this is Podcasting Under the Influence, where we talk about sports and other things that interest us, mostly nerdy stuff. There is a screaming baby in the background. It's okay. My wife's here to tend to it.
I'm JD, as he said. It's gonna be a good show. I have a feeling I'm gonna argue a shitload.
We like to argue.
All right, start off with some football. Uh, Packers and Seahawks.
Special thanks to those two teams for actually giving us a quality playoff caliber game to begin with, because the other one was, it's not even worth actually talking about the game. But kudos, my pack didn't come out on top, but I'm cheering for the Seahawks.
Okay, why do you think the Packers lost? Who do you blame? Where do you put a lot of the blame?
I blame the defense for playing too soft in the second half, or fourth quarter, actually, more preferably. That's what I see was the major problem. I didn't think Aaron Rodgers was going to score a ton of points, but I thought the defense was going to be good enough that he wouldn't have to.
I disagree with you, which I don't think what you're saying is wrong. I think it's a byproduct of something else. I thought
animosity toward everyone who's not Green Bay.
No. What I'm saying is, I blame the coach. By playing super passive and playing the quote not lose, I think his defense got that mentality later in the game. They were playing not to lose rather than. There's about 5 times in that game where they could have stepped on the throat of that team and took their will completely out of it.
Yeah.
Up 16-0. They had the ball with about 2 minutes, like a minute 40 left or something. They started driving and they threw like a dumb play. I don't know if that was Aaron Rodgers' fault or not, but he threw an interception. And my guess is that he was expecting a comeback route instead of an out, and he just threw it right to the defender. But there's so many times in that game they could have just put their foot right on the throat of Seattle and took their will right out of it.
But in the first half alone, they pretty much all but neutralized Russell Wilson. They completely neutralized that threat. They kept it at bay. There was no chance he was going to get any big plays on him. And then in the fourth quarter, all of a sudden, he just Russell Wilson.
If they'd have ran the read option first half, they'd destroyed.
Well, Russell Wilson essentially brought them back into that game himself. He did it.
Him and Marshall Lynch.
Well,
I'll give Marshall Lynch credit.
Yeah, well, he gets a little bit of credit, but himself. They won the game by, just that last play, as good as it was. And kudos to Seattle on that last play. Not what I wanted, but you guys won fair and square. It was a great game to watch. Everyone who paid for that game probably would have paid gladly twice the ticket price because it was that good a game.
I just think that Mike McCarthy was very passive in the game. When you have the best quarterback in the league, and they were moving the ball pretty well on Seattle. They would move the ball from like the 20 to the 20, get in the 20, and then get very conservative and just be content with taking field goals. They had like a fourth and like a foot, and they kick a field goal.
Yeah, I mean, the sad part was up until the fourth quarter, they had that game by the balls.
No.
By the balls.
No. Okay, here's an example of them being passive. So, Seattle has the ball. They throw an interception. The safety, whoever it is for the Green Bay Packers, catches it. And as soon as he catches it, takes 2 steps and slides. He had a good 30 yards he could have ran to at least maybe get another field goal or maybe even get a touchdown.
What,
Whoever it was, I got the
Clinton Dix was like, you heard his name more in that game than you did the entire
season. I'm about to get on his shit for a second. So he slides, and there's about 5 minutes left in the game. He just slides and takes a slide. Now here's where coaching comes in. Bad coaching. You either got to make a decision. You either got to try to score or whatever, or you can run the clock out. They opted to run the clock out in the first 2 plays. They ran a play for 4 yards and then a play for 1 yard. Then they decided they want to go for the first down and pass it. And they took 4 seconds off the clock just by doing that because they got an incomplete pass.
Yeah.
You got to make a decision. Are you going to run the ball or are you going to try to get the first down? You got to make your decision. If you're going to run the ball, run it again, take another 30 seconds off the clock, which actually probably would have killed them in the long run if you think about it.
Yeah.
They needed those last 30 seconds. But if you're going to try to play a little bit aggressive and get a first down, just go for it. That's my opinion. Just go for it. Don't be like, oh, we got to run. Okay, now we kind of get a first down, but we got to make a throw that's going to be that short of the first down marker anyway, and then we're going to drop the ball and stop the clock. It's not intelligent football. And then you have the onside for defense. Defense didn't play great in the fourth quarter. I'll give you that. But I'm pretty sure that's because they were playing off of the conservative mentality of the head coach, which he played conservative the entire game. Didn't take any great shots. Didn't give Aaron Rodgers the ball as much as they should have.
But you're going to blame the entire game on Mike McCarthy?
Eddie Lacy ran the ball more times in that game than he had in any game this season.
But why would you not play semi-conservatively against the most opportunistic defense in the entire league?
Because you need to put your foot on their throat and take their will out of the game and not let them hang around.
Or you can let Richard Sherman put his foot on your throat and take you out of the game. It could go either way. I understand exactly why he played conservatively. I'm glad you brought up Richard
Sherman because he dislocates his freaking elbow and he can't lift his arm. So why don't you attack him? That's what I'm talking about.
Because that's the kind of football Richard Sherman plays. He'll come out for a couple. You think he's injured. You start throwing his direction.
I know you said that we were watching the game. We did watch the game, but he was like, he's just faking. He's just trying to.
You never know. But you never know.
You never know. But
you don't.
You test it. You have the best quarterback in the league. Why won't you test him?
I would have tested him.
If you had scrubs as receivers, I understand that, but you have good receivers.
I would have tested him with all three wide receivers, and I'd have put each one on him. I would have put each wide receiver on him one time just to see if I could bait him out, and if he wasn't going to take the bait, and he was still going to play strong coverage with one arm, then put a tight end on him, make him come inside. I agree with you. They played conservatively, but I understand exactly why they played conservatively, and the defense lost that game for them in the fourth quarter. That's what happened.
If the coach goes aggressive in the second and third quarter, you don't have. This is the same thing we were debating about 2 weeks ago with Adrian Peterson and Brett Favre. If you don't have this that happens, the turnovers, you don't have Brett Favre's interception in overtime. If you play aggressive the first, second, and third quarter, you don't have the fourth quarter comeback because you're up 35 points.
He's not even a Green Bay fan. He's that aggravated.
I am aggravated because I don't want to see the freaking Seahawks go to the Super Bowl again.
Well, I would rather, taking my brothers and what I got to pick from now, I'll take the Seahawks any day of the week.
I'm rooting against Seahawks. So
we both agree that they played conservatively. You believe it was a negative factor. I believe the conservative defense in the fourth quarter was the thing that lost the game for Green Bay. That's how I see it. Because it's a hard defense to play, especially at home. I mean, you got to take that into account.
They drove the ball.
It's not like you're playing Dallas in Dallas. That's a different story.
They drove the ball a lot in that game. It's not like they could never move the ball, and there's 16 points they got in like 2 possessions. They moved the ball consistently, and they just happened to get field goals out of it.
Hey, what did I tell you when we were sitting there watching that game? Unless he throws a touchdown from the 30 back, he's not going to get one.
That's because they don't run the ball when you get in the red zone. That's where it kind of counters me when I said why don't they pound the football? If there's one weakness that the Seahawks have, it's their defensive line run game. When it comes to run game,
just in the center. You can't get outside on them, but if you pound them hard enough in the center,
the edge on them.
Well, that's what I'm saying. You pound them straight up the gut, and you did it relentlessly.
I'm talking about red zone.
The entire game, you could. Well, yeah, if they would have done that from the 20 and just beat the shit out of them with Kuhn, Starks, and Lacy, and bring a fresh back in every other down. Who in the hell gives a shit? Just beat them to death with a fresh back.
We still had that one running back. They had a Cobb back there a couple times, which worked again.
That does work. That does work because that's a fool's errand because then you're going to put a wide receiver in the back center on him to cover him because you don't know what he's going to do.
Linebacker.
Whatever.
You said a wide receiver.
Well, you got to put someone on him as a wide receiver to cover him because it doesn't matter if he's coming from the backfield. He can still jet out around you and be 20 yards downfield before you realize what happened.
And there's a kid. I don't remember the kid's name. The kid that bots the onside kick. Now he was supposed to be blocking for Jordy Nelson. This is why he gets a lot of the blame. He's getting all the blame for the loss, like 95% of the blame from the loss from ESPN's too. If you're not conservative and you don't pussyfy yourself throughout the course of the game, the conservative plays have a negative effect on your psyche. If you're 4th and 1 on the 5-yard line, your coach or let's say 4th and like a foot. And you opt to kick the field goal.
It was 16-7 at halftime, right?
No, 16-0.
16-0. The defense
the 7 points.
In the second half.
Can I finish?
No.
If you're a foot away from a first down and your coach opts to take the field goal, Your coach is saying, we're not good enough to beat this team. We're not good enough to get 1 foot on this team that we got to take the field goal. That's what they're saying. And that has an effect when you go through the whole course of the game and you're taking the safe route saying, by default, we can't beat this team on this play. We're just going to get rid of the football. That's the mentality that they had, and that came back to bite them in the butt the fourth quarter because they had such a passive-aggressive approach to the game. That's my point. If they had stepped on their throat and just took their will out of it, there's a couple times they could have just done that.
Trust me, this game that we just saw this week will be played over and over again. I guarantee you, if that game doesn't happen again in week 1 next year, it'll happen sometime throughout the season. It'll happen again in the playoffs. We're going to see, I guarantee you, for at least the next 3 to 4 years, we're going to see Green Bay versus Seattle in the playoffs until their rotation comes back around in year 4, and then they will have the opening game again, because that opening game this year of the season, regardless that it was a 20-point blowout, everyone wanted to know how it was going to pan out. Right. It's a good game. They were 2 great teams, a great representation of the NFC. It was a fair representation of the NFC, too.
Here is an exact...
The number 1 offense in the NFC versus the number 1 defense in the NFC. It was brilliant.
It was not them. It was the Cowboys. I think number 2. I'll give you number 2.
Cowboys.
Hey, game gotta respect game, man. You gotta respect game.
I don't have to do anything.
Yeah, well. Here's a perfect example of polar opposites in the NFL. The Seahawks, if they have a chance to step in your throat and take your will out of it, they do that. That's why they're such a good team. That's why they're champions. Green Bay has a chance to do it. They don't do it. And it costs them the damn game. That's why. Seattle goes up to Arizona, last game of the season, and beats them by 50. Why? Because they can. Because they're pricks. How many times in the last 3 or 4 years have you seen the Seahawks just put like a 50-pointer on somebody?
Name one other team that allows their individuals to be individuals on and off the field consistently.
Individuals to be on and off the field?
No, allow them to be, quote-unquote, individuals on and off the field. Pete Carroll is the most liberal guy when it comes to Marshawn Lynch is Marshawn Lynch. That's just how that dude is. Richard Sherman is Richard Sherman. That's just how that dude is. He's doing Jimmy Johnson. He's Jimmy Johnson.
Jimmy Johnson did the same thing when he coached the Cowboys.
I was talking currently. I'm not talking about 20 years ago.
I'm just giving you an example of the only one I know. I can't think of it off the top of my head.
Currently. Nobody. He's the only one still in the league.
No,
you're not going to think. There's nobody else.
I'm trying to think of something.
Well, okay. Smith apparently
Rex Ryan.
What?
Rex Ryan does that. He lets them be individuals.
Yeah, but there's still apparently a rope on them boys because they don't talk too much. Nobody talks as much as Richard Sherman talks. And Marshawn Lynch, who could talk all he wants, decides not to because he's a very smart man.
I heard his excuse for why he doesn't talk to the media. He says he gets anxiety from it. That's stupid.
Well, you know what? And then they'll probably and like Richard Sherman has proved time and time again, they'll take little excerpts from everything you've said and turn it into a fucking wraparound on a GIF.
If you don't care, then just say what you want. Don't care.
He just doesn't want his words misinterpreted. Congratulations to you, Marshawn Lynch. You are a very smart man, and wear your gold cleats. You have the right to wear your gold cleats. You got a Super Bowl. You're heading on your second one. Hopefully you win it too. Then you can wear your gold cleats and tell the NFL to suck it. And then when Roger Goodell wants to put his helmet on and get out on that field, then he can tell you not to.
What other team has individuals on it?
That are allowed to be individuals without any.
I would say the Bears, but
we saw how well that went.
Yeah,
Pete Carroll keeps just enough of a noose around their neck that they're allowed to be who they are.
But see, I disagree with you because you don't hear their names in like the media and the news a lot.
Yes, because they do it so often that it's not a problem. You know what I mean? It's one of those things like if
I don't think that they're individuals.
If Eddie Lacy was to come out and just be like, "Fuck white people," that would be the news for the rest of the year, and that's all we talk about. But if Richard Sherman, for instance, and I'm not picking on you, Richard Sherman, but I am, would come out and say the exact same thing, they'd be like, "Oh, Richard Sherman's talking again." And it'd be like 24 hours of news.
Okay, so what you're saying is we're all conditioned to it, so we don't pay as much attention to it. Is that what you're trying to say?
I didn't say anything about us. I'm just talking about the team in general. When Richard Sherman runs his mouth, it's news for 24 hours. If someone on a tighter team the Steelers, the Patriots, the Giants, Cowboys, Packers, for instance, run their mouth or do anything, it's news for a week. It's news for a month. It's news for a year. Those teams have a tighter noose around their neck. You're not allowed to do this, or this. Pete Carroll allows them to be themselves 110%. And Richard Sherman has proved that time and time again.
I don't think any team
really coach is not going to take Marshawn Lynch by the scruff and be like, shut up, you're the one who said we're going to do this, so we're doing it. Fuck you. What other coach is not going to take Marshawn Lynch by his little collar and go, boy, now listen, you got to do this, whether you want to or not. I want you to smile and nod and be happy, da-da-da-da-da. Nobody. They're like, oh, okay. Pete Carroll's like, okay. You got to go do this, but do it your way. And he goes out and does it his way. He still gets penalized by the NFL. And while he's driving his Ferrari, he goes, because that's his right, and he doesn't have to talk to the media. The simple fact that the NFL makes a rule that these players have to, I don't have to do shit. Well, I have to play football on Sunday. I have to show up to practice every day.
No. It's in his contract that he signed that says I will talk to the media, and if I don't, I get fined. So then, whenever he decides not to, when he decides not to get to the media, he gets fined, and then people bitch about it. It's in your contract that you have media obligations, and when you decide not to do that, then you're avoiding your contract, and you deserve to get money taken from you. I'm going to wait till he retires, and I want to see how much he wants to bitch and complain that he doesn't have any money because he's losing $50,000 every time he decides not to talk to the media. Take 5 minutes out of your day, go talk, or however much it is.
Here's the best part about our entire team is that we have Marshawn Lynch over here that doesn't want to say anything, and we have Richard Sherman.
Richard Sherman doesn't want to run his mouth. He just wants to run his mouth on the field. And he doesn't like him.
But he doesn't. He doesn't at the news
conference. It's the same thing when Michael Jordan used to do this. Michael Jordan, when people used to run their mouth to him, he would go into the game like, I'm going to get 25 tonight. We'll probably win by like 5 points or whatever. Someone would up to him, or he would like knock the ball out of bounds. Yeah, I'm going to be in your face all night. Michael Jordan, he'd be like, now I'm going to drop 50 on you for running your mouth. That's the way Richard Sherman is. He won't say a damn thing until someone starts running their mouth at him, and then he's like, oh, now you've done it. Now you've done it.
His news conference with the Marshawn Lynch poster board this year was the best.
And again,
it was the best.
Why do you not attack someone who has one arm? I still don't understand that for the life of me. Yeah, best quarterback in the league.
Okay. Moving on
to the Patriot game.
Which anyone who went to that game should request their money back because it was just an atrocity.
Patriots, I told you, man, they look like they're just destined to win it. Now, we said the same thing last year about the Broncos, and the Seahawks kicked the shit out of them.
I'm trying to decide, like, the game was so boring, I literally stopped watching it.
I left work early.
I stopped watching it. Like, it was completely uninteresting. It wasn't even worth paying attention to. I actually went to my brother-in-law.
45-7?
Yeah, I went to my brother-in-law's house to watch the second game because I told him I'd.
Now, you're going to tell me... We're going to go ahead and get on this real quick.
No. We're going to talk about the game. Then we're going to talk about the thing.
The game is the game. We just talked about the game.
Anyone who went to that game deserves a refund because if that's the best the AFC has to offer, then we need to completely.
Who's paying the refund? The Colts? Yeah, this should be the Colts.
They should because they didn't even show up. They didn't even try.
Well, that's just.
Well, granted that what Trent Richardson didn't travel with the team for personal reasons. And I don't know what those personal reasons are. And for Trent Richardson's sake, I hope they were really, really good. Because if it's a family matter, family comes first, and I'm a firm believer in that, and you'll never hear me speak otherwise. However, that's going to be the second biggest game of your career.
This is the
first one was in 2 weeks. That was the second biggest game of your career. I really hope you had a good reason and you weren't just blowing it off.
I'm pretty sure his reason was, I'm not going to get played anyways. There's no point going.
What, Ahmad Bradshaw's still out.
They're going to cut him. Trent Richardson's been a waste. He was a first-round draft pick, and he's been a goddamn. He hasn't had 1,000 yards yet.
Just look at my empty glass.
He is god awful. I'm sorry for a first-round pick. That is a huge bust with first.
But he was.
The Browns did a great job getting rid of him.
Well, maybe they saw something coming because he wasn't doing terrible.
Yeah, he was
with the Browns.
Yeah, he was doing good.
He wasn't terrible. He was doing mediocre. He wasn't terrible.
They have one of the best running games. They had one of the best running games this year as a team. And Trent Richardson could make that better. They name me the running backs. It was Terrence West. That was their running back.
Matt Broadside was printing money.
No, I'm talking about Cleveland. But
Oh, well, yeah.
No. Colts didn't have a good running game this year. Colts had a horrible.
No, they didn't
have a running game this year. Maud Bradshaw's their best runner, but he was injured.
Well, he did pretty good for me in fantasy.
He did good for you in fantasy, but we're talking about fantasy. Talking about production on the football field. Trent Richardson is a waste of football space.
Okay.
For a first round pick, that's all.
I will agree. I said he was mediocre in Cleveland. I didn't say he was good or bad. I said he was mediocre. And what?
For a rookie, I will give him credit. He wasn't a bad rookie.
Got a hell of a deal on that.
Yeah,
they made out like bandits. They might as well have held a gun to Jim Irsay's head because that's the kind of deal they got. I'll give you this Pinto for your
Here's what you have with the Patriots Colts. You have a team that is built as a team, and is one of the best, top to bottom, every position team. And you have another team that's built from the quarterback down. The quarterback's the best player, and everything's relied upon that quarterback to do everything. Newsflash, Colts, he can't play defense. He can't run the ball every play.
And Kevin Cleaner cannot play every position in the backfield when it's open.
Yes. You can't. Well, they're gonna have to get him help, and I'm sure that's what Jim Irsay is having apparently there was a heated argument during the game in the owner's box with him and his GM. They were just arguing, bickering back and forth.
Well, you can have a great quarterback, but if you don't give him the proper weapons or line, then he can't do jack shit. Hence, Dan Marino not having a Super Bowl. There it is.
Well, they didn't get him a running game. Yeah, they didn't get Dan Marino. Never had a running game.
Never had an offensive line.
He had decent receivers, but he never had an offensive line. He didn't have a great defense.
If there's someone that should sue the NFL over a concussion protocol, Dan Marino should, because I'm sure he spent more time.
He had to retire because if he got one more concussion, he was going to kill him.
Spent more time on the ground on their back than they did passing the ball, and they were actually pretty good.
Well, Dan Marino had a chance to win the Super Bowl. He just lost.
Okay, well,
to be fair.
Internet, let's put it this way. We literally spent 17 minutes talking about the NFC game, and I've got nothing more to say about the AFC game other than, of course, the obvious topic of conversation.
Which
do you have anything else to add to that game in and of itself until we just go into that thing?
No, I do think that the Patriots, as long as Tom Brady is still playing in the NFL, I don't think Andrew Luck is ever going to get to the Super Bowl. Because Tom Brady will always be in his way. And Tom Brady and Bill Belichick have Andrew Luck's number. Andrew Luck is not enough to overcompensate. When you have a whole team that is just geared, a well-oiled machine, you cannot beat him with one guy.
I think I said that.
Look at LeBron James in basketball. When he played for Cleveland, it was him or bust. And if you found a way to just let him get 30 points, but not let everyone else score, you could beat him. That's what the San Antonio Spurs did.
Yeah, you double cover everyone and let him fly.
Yeah. So, I don't think the Colts are ever going to win a Super Bowl until Tom Brady's retired. And I do think they would have been able to beat the Ravens, however. I agree with that. I agree wholeheartedly. I think that they could have easily beaten anyone else in the AFC, except for maybe the Steelers. Maybe I
think that would have been a better game to watch.
That would have been, but if it was like the game they played earlier this year when Ben had 5 touchdowns and 500 passing yards.
65 point fantasy.
All right, let's go ahead and talk about this the Deflate gate or whatever you want to call it.
Go ahead, give it to me.
I don't think it's a big deal. First off, the ball is allowed between 12.5 and 13.5. It's not pounds, it's something else. Ounces, maybe, I don't know. But that's how much the ball is supposed to weigh.
No, there's a difference. There's the PSI in the ball and the actual weight of the ball.
The PSI is 13.5.
They actually are the head referee or umpire, whatever, is supposed to check that at 2 minutes and 15 seconds until kickoff.
And you're allowed to have it between 13.5 and 12.5. Now, the reason for letting the air out of the ball, which is what we did in high school also, is so you can grip the ball better in cold weather. That's the point of letting the air out of the ball. Now, both teams use the same football, so I don't see why it's a big damn deal. If anything, it made it easier for Andrew Luck to throw the football.
Unless he's like Aaron Rodgers.
Now, if it's significantly dropped in weight, well, that's the reason why you do that, because it makes the ball feel the same weight. Because the air is lighter. Yeah. That's why you take the air out of it so you can squeeze it, and it still feels the same weight because the air is lighter.
He thinks I'm going to have another argument for this, but go ahead.
I don't see the issue. Both teams use the same football. There's only one football they found that was not the same as the other one. Like, one was, I wish I could look it up right now, but I can't.
Was it the kicking ball?
I think it was a kicking ball.
Brilliant.
They had 12 footballs, and 11 of them were not the same weight as the other one. why that's a big deal. Unless that one was the only one the one the Colts were using every possession of every game or every play of that game, which I don't think that's a big deal. If you lose by 45 points, it's not because the damn football is a couple PSI off. It's because your team fucking sucks. Well, compared to the other. Obviously, they're not a bad team because they did get the AFC Championship.
Before I say what I'm going to say, what do you think I'm going to say?
I think you're going to say that the Patriots are cheaters and the Colts should by default be allowed to go to the Super Bowl. That's what I think you're going to do because you hate the Patriots.
I'm not. What I'm going to say is this is an embarrassment to the Patriot organization because if those balls were tampered with and it wasn't your own people, is your security that fucking lackluster and suck fuck that you let somebody get to those balls? Now, whether it be a Colts fan or whether it be a rabid Patriot fan that just so happens to work for you, is your security that lackluster at best that you let that happened under your watch? And I'm talking to you, Robert Kraft, because you're the one who's paying all those people. And Bill Belichick, this is going to come back on your career, not anyone else's. Because when it comes down to people voting for you, Hall of Fame, they're going to talk about Spygate. They're going to talk about quote-unquote Deflategate. They're going to look at these things. And the fact that you would let that happen in your own organization, because trust me, those cameras are set up in a stadium 2 days before the game even happened. You're going to tell me they weren't testing them, checking them, looking around? Where are the balls? Where's the vault? Who watches the vault? Furthermore, the head referee, if you check them at 2 hours and 15 minutes before the game, wait a minute, were they right? Were they wrong? Did it happen before or after your watch? And that's your watch. That's your field. That's an embarrassment to you. It had no difference on the outcome of the game. Had the outcome of the game come to point spread like that, maybe. This big, not so much. The Colts just didn't show up to the game. It's an embarrassment to the Patriots organization. That's all it is. That's all it is. It's an embarrassment. Well, how tight's your security detail? You let this happen?
How do you know that?
Is there some guy sitting in there with a gauge, a digital gauge, that just plugs it in the ball? 2 pounds. 2 pounds. 2 pounds. They make them. It can be done. That's the sad part to me.
It is just the way that the football, both teams are using the football.
I didn't say it had anything to do with the game. I'm just saying that you let it happen on your watch. Though? It's an embarrassment.
First off, how do you know that?
These are the people that are supposed to keep me safe while I'm there watching the game, and they can't even watch a football. 12 football. 12 footballs. Can't even keep an eye on them when they're supposed to be behind the scenes, locked up, then on the field, and then held by guys who that's your job. That's all you do is you hold the footballs and you rotate them out.
Well, it's one of those guys that let the air out of it. You didn't see the Patriots doing it. You saw one of those guys doing it.
But did some of them? Did someone pay this guy off? I mean, that's the integrity of the team. That's the integrity of the team.
How do you know it was Bill Belichick?
It has nothing to do with the game. I didn't say it was.
I'm just saying.
I didn't say it was. It's
how do they know?
Kraft. Who are you hiring? What's going on your team, man? You need to scrutinize yourself a little bit better. This makes you look bad. And it doesn't matter if it was your fault. It could have been a Colts fan coming out of the stands being like, hey, brother, you want to make $1,000? It could have been that. But where's that middleman? Where's that guy's like keeping him away from the ball, dude? Going, get the fuck out of here, dude. You ain't got no business being this close. Like, it had nothing to do with the game.
I think it's much to do about nothing.
I agree with you, but it's still a pot mark on Bill Belichick's career, and it's the second one.
It's the third one.
I forget.
Okay.
Spygate.
The first one's not his fault. The first one's not his fault because the first one was a tuck rule, which he didn't do anything.
It's a Brady tuck.
That
horse shit still. But anyway.
Even Patriot fans said that was bullshit. But that wasn't his fault. It's not like he paid the referees. It's not like he paid someone to change the rule or the rule.
I'm just saying it's another pockmark on his career, and they should probably take this shit a little bit more seriously because truly, honestly, if it was a fan or an anti-fan, a fan for the other team, or just a rabid ball guy who was a fan for you, you gotta have tighter shit on that. That's how I feel about it. Did it have anything to do with the game? No. I don't think so.
I have the feeling this is what happened. I have a feeling that Tom Brady came over complaining that the ball was hard to grip, or someone complained that the ball was hard to grip. Obviously, that's not going to have an issue if LeGarrette Blount's still getting 200 yards rushing just by handing the ball. I mean, he doesn't make.
Well, but there's a 1 pound variance in the standard. There's already a 1 pound
PSI,
variance.
not a. That's very it's very little in weight that you notice.
But are we talking about the weight, or are we talking about being able to grip the ball better? Because that's
the point of it is the point of letting the air out in the cold is to grip the ball better.
Okay.
You can squeeze the ball a little bit better on your throw. Okay. That is the point of that, which means Andrew Luck had better grip on the ball, and Tom Brady both had better grip on the ball. That's why I don't understand why it's being such a big deal. I have a feeling that a couple people complained about the grip of the football, and someone said, hey, go let some of the air out of the football, because that way we can all grip them better. I have a feeling that's what happened. Do I know that for sure? I do not.
But even if it's the referee, it's the job of the referee to go,
obviously,
play the game.
Okay, obviously it wasn't enough to the referee who has to set the ball every damn play, setting it down and setting it down and setting it down. He didn't notice there was a difference in the weight. Quarterbacks didn't. Andrew Luck didn't notice a difference in the weight.
Your argument is if I said it made a difference in the game. I said it didn't.
We are talking to each other, so it looks like I'm
telling you right now. I'm telling you right now. It's an embarrassment to the organization.
And I'm bitching about
nothing to do with the game.
And I'm bitching about what was said on TV for the last 4 goddamn days.
I haven't. You know what? I actually
said on Twitter.
Haven't seen.
You act like I'm being mad at you. I'm talking to you about this. Okay, I'm not trying to.
You're doing it in an angry voice.
You do it too. Obviously the referee was holding the football every single play. The football players don't set the ball themselves. The referee was setting it every play. The balls get changed out every 3 plays, just in case they're wet or they got mud on them, or whatever the case may be.
But if the odd ball was the kicking ball, how would you ever know? Because the kicking balls are always a little different. They're always a little different.
Well, they put helium in them.
Well, but I'm just saying. You're talking about the rotation, like the guy should have noticed. He wouldn't have noticed if it was that way from...
You want the kicking ball heavier because that way the wind doesn't catch it as much.
No, so I'm just saying...
You would want the ball you kick to be a little heavier. That's why you would
You're blaming it on the ref and he should have spotted it. I'm just saying, what if the lead umpire did that before 0-0 or 15 on the clock in the first quarter? What if it was done before it even started? Then everyone's like, "Oh yeah, this ball."
Apparently, there's a video of
this ball's the same.
Apparently, there's a video of someone filming someone letting the ball out, air out of the ball, taking a little bit.
Then show it to me. Defend yourselves, Patriots organization. I hate you anyway.
I would show you on my phone, but
do it.
I don't want to do that.
Do it.
I'm saying it's much to do about who cares whether the ball was 13.5 or 13.1 or 12.9. The Colts organization will sit there and tell you today that they did not lose because of the football. They lost because they got beat by a better football team. Okay, now back to the whole Spygate thing. Whenever this is actually a quote. Robert Kraft asked Bill Belichick how much filming the other team's signs or whatever, how much of an advantage it gave him. He said maybe 0.5% to 1%. He's like, "We're just a damn smuck, aren't you?" That's what he said to him. It's not a huge... I don't understand.
I'm just saying, if someone was questioning me and it was official, and they're like, "Chad, how much of an advantage did cleats give you on ice?" "Well, not as much as ice skates, because this guy sells ice skates." Of course, this guy is giving me money. I'm going to tell him whatever he wants to hear. I don't. As little as Belichick talks. Now, if Rex Ryan would have said something like that, I would believe it wholeheartedly, because Rex Ryan will tell you exactly how it is. Belichick he's a mystery draped in a cape who can't fly, and he doesn't talk enough for me to believe him when he says anything. And if he was more vocal about how he actually personally felt about things, as opposed to personally listening to one of his press conferences is like that trombone from Charlie Brown, because it's most of it is inaudible. Yeah, and it makes no sense. If it was Rex Ryan in this position and he came out and said, "That gave us no advantage. We were fucked from the beginning of the game. It doesn't even matter. We tried this, we tried that. Hell, we tried cheating and it didn't even work." Then I would believe it wholeheartedly. But since it's Belichick and Belichick has the mentality that Belichick has, not so much. Sorry, that's just how I feel.
I just don't. It's been 10 years since "quote unquote" Spygate. Well, 8 years. Sorry, it's 2007. It's now 2014 or 2015. It's 8 years So you're telling me that from the time Tom Brady, the tuck rule, from that moment until now, the only reason, and this is what bugs me about people on ESPN, the only reason that team is successful is because they're cheating. No, they are successful because they are built by a good owner. They have a great coach. They do have a good quarterback. Okay. That is why they're good. They don't get to the AFC Championship game every freaking year because they're quote unquote cheating.
No.
They get there because they are a good team.
They're a good team. I fucking hate them, but they're a good team.
I'm not saying this at you. I'm getting frustrated with ESPN that say they wouldn't be anything without cheating. They wouldn't be anything without this. Like Ray Lewis says that
if he's the fucking expert on shit.
Without the tuck rule, the Patriots wouldn't be the dynasty that they are right now, which is bullshit. But
we're talking about a dude that literally got away with murder. In my opinion, as to avoid that whole defamation of character bullshit. In my opinion.
Okay, take that one off.
If you didn't put yourself in that situation, you wouldn't have that problem in the first place. Just saying.
All right.
I.e. Ben Roethlisberger.
Let's move on.
You know what I'm talking about.
This topic irritates me. John Fox. He got hired by the Bears.
We're going into coaching.
A little bit.
I did not even keep up on this week. I'm not
John Fox got hired by the Bears. Now, we're going to go back full circle here to something we've been talking about the last 3 weeks. Why Jim Harbaugh?
Where what?
The one who got fired from 49ers. Is that Jim or John? Jim John?
Jim John.
Whatever. The Harbaugh.
One of the Harbaugh.
Yeah, one of the Harbaughs. They got fired from San Francisco. Yeah, he went to 3 straight NFC Championship games, got to the Super Bowl, and then we had 1 year where he, quote-unquote, didn't win. Now you have the same situation in the AFC where John Fox has won 4 straight divisional titles, got to the Super Bowl last year, made the playoffs every year. Jim Harbaugh. Jimmy John.
This is terrible.
Jimmy John. And his brother's name is John Jimmy.
Yeah. Johnny Jim. He got the Ravens. He's a Ravens fan.
All right. I don't understand why they fired. I mean, I don't like John Fox as a coach personally, but you can't argue with the guy's success when you win 3 straight divisional titles, and you are in a tough division. You do have the San Diego Chargers, you have the Chiefs, Raiders. That's the other one, so it's not very good.
Yeah, we don't even need to talk about
Chiefs
that.
and San Diego are not bad football teams. You got to compete with them every year. Plus, you're in the AFC, so you always got to play Tom Brady. You always got to play the Colts. If you want to get a drink, go ahead. I'll keep talking.
Well, no, I was going to see if I need another bottle.
Gotcha. So I don't understand why they let him go. And now they hired Gary Kubiak, who, hold on. Gary Kubiak was the offensive coordinator for the Ravens, but he was also head coach of the Texans.
Are we still talking about Fox?
Yeah. And in his entire tenure in the Texans, I think he only made the playoffs twice. And in the last time he coached, he was 14. He lost 14 straight the last head coaching job he had. So I don't understand why you go from John Fox to Gary Kubiak. John Fox has at least made the playoffs 4 years, divisional title 4 years, and you're gonna go from that to a guy the last time he was a head football coach, he was 2-14. So I don't understand the thought process in that. But
where was Kubiak before?
He was in the Texans.
He was the one that couldn't coach that. He couldn't coach probably what was the potentially greatest defense ever into doing anything.
Potentially, yes.
Okay.
Well, in fairness, he did have Matt Schaub, but that was his quarterback. In fairness to him, he did have Matt freaking Schaub.
Yeah.
But I don't understand the mindset. It's the same thing with my Redskins, and I won't get into that again this week. But they just don't even get me started. They actually.
You're not allowed to talk about that until after the Super Bowl.
Yeah. Okay, so you want to say anything on John Fox? I just wanted to vent about that.
I don't think he's going to be the guy to go into the Bears locker room and bring it together. I don't think that's going to happen. When you have where John Fox was, when you have Peyton Manning, you don't have to do that job.
Or John Elway, because he'll bring you together a good team too.
Well, yeah, but I mean, Peyton Manning in your locker room will take care of the locker room. The locker room's done. You don't even have to do that job anymore. It's taken care of. You're going to an organization that has absolutely no guaranteed leadership figure in that locker room. There's nobody that can step up and be like, I'm the boss, suck my dick. You do your job, I'm going to do mine.
Actually, I disagree with that. Because the first thing he did when he got hired is he reached out to Brian Urlacher and offered him a coaching job to bring him in and to kind of, stabilize the locker room.
Urlacher was the only thing that stabilized that locker room. And looking at the past couple locker room. Look at the past look at the past 4 seasons of the Bears. Go look at what happened to them after Urlacher wasn't there anymore.
Yeah.
That locker room just fell apart. J.J. Watt is someone to be reckoned with.
Anything else on John Foxy?
Good luck. You're going to fucking need it.
Okay. This is coming up in the offseason. Who is worth more? Who do you think should have the bigger contract? Andrew Luck or Russell Wilson?
Russell Wilson.
Why?
Well, hopefully by the end of, actually, our next podcast, because we won't have any football to talk about next week. He'll be a 2-time Super Bowl champion. Pay the boy.
You think that? Well, I disagree with you. Andrew Luck carries this team, while Russell Wilson just plays a part on a very good team. That's why I disagree. Andrew
Luck deserves a contract. Does he deserve the contract of this decade?
Well, apparently they're going to pay him $25, $28 million a year.
That's a waste of the biggest contract ever.
Why would you pay him that much? I understand why you want to pay him that much,
but you're killing your salary cap. Then you can't give him wide receivers and running backs and the shit he needs to do his job.
Defense. Name me one standout on that defense other than Vontae Davis. Exactly.
Well, there was nothing worth paying attention to on that defense this season.
No. They actually played pretty good against Denver and
they had a couple.
Cincinnati. I mean, it's kind of a wash because Cincinnati didn't have 2 of their best receivers, Gresham and Green.
They had 8 really pretty good defensive performances this season.
Disagree, but your wife did have them on fantasy, so I guess I can't argue that.
Yeah, well, I'm going by the fantasy points, not the
stats. That's fantasy, but you can get 5 turnovers in fantasy and get a 40-point game, giving up 35 points.
I'm just saying. I go by what I go by.
I can give an argument both ways because Wilson deserves to get paid like a Super Bowl champion, and I don't know, Flacco got a huge ass contract and he's only got 1 Super Bowl.
Yeah, that's usually what writes you a contract.
Tony Romo and Cutler, neither of them have Super Bowls, and they make $127 million. So.
Well, yeah, if you're gonna pay Jay Cutler that kind of money, then Andrew Luck deserves at least that.
It's called the market. It's based on what the market gives you. Now, based on his QBR, based on his yardage, his touchdowns, does he deserve a max contract? No. But you can also say the same thing about Andrew Luck. I'll wait till you get back.
No, he does every
time. It's like he knows. He knows. We're going to talk about football again. Wah! So, anyway.
He doesn't like John Fox being the coach of the Bears.
Yeah, he hates it.
Hates it.
The Bears. So
it was a dumbass idea.
You can go the other way with Andrew Luck, considering he's been second in the league in turnovers the last 3 years. But he also has to throw a lot more because he's never running game.
Miss all the shots you don't take. Oh!
And because of all those turnovers, you can also say that he puts the defense in bad positions. So that's why they look really bad as a defense.
7 for 9 on that.
7 for 9. You didn't say it last week. I don't think you said it last week.
I think I said it last week. I did miss 1 week. I think I missed week 2. But anyway.
No, you missed like week 6 or something. Because you pointed out like you missed also. Shit, I didn't say it last week, did I? Nope.
I tried internet. I really did.
But okay. Luck is worth more, I think, in long run. Wilson has done more now to be berserk. Okay, let's put it this way. Andrew Luck is going to get a contract, and I think he'll live up to that contract. Russell Wilson has done enough to deserve the contract, but I don't think he'll be what the contract is worth when it's all said and done. For example, if Andrew
much of the team's free agent? How much of the Seahawks is free agent?
I don't know. Like, for example, if Andrew Luck, let's say he gets a 5-year, $100 million deal. If he gets $20 million a year, is he going to be worth that $20 million in the next 5 years? Yes. Why do I think that? Because he is good and he does a lot with nothing. Okay? Russell Wilson, if he gets a 5-year, $100 million contract, does he deserve that now if he wins another Super Bowl? absolutely deserves it. Will he be worth every penny in 5 years? No, because if he gets that much money, guess what? You might have to get rid of Cam Chancellor. You might have to get rid of Earl Thomas. You might have to get rid of Lynch. You might have to get rid of a handful of players that make him successful. And I don't think he's going to be as good without all those successful pieces. So that is my issue. You could probably give Luck that much money, and he could probably get the same result that he's had the last 5 years. Russell Wilson, if you give him more money, you're going to have to cut something else out of the team. Maybe your defensive line gets worse. Maybe your offensive line gets worse. You can't get another receiver once.
That defense can't sacrifice a damn thing.
Yes, but, I mean, they got rid of a handful of players to free agency, and they're still pretty successful. But you think you can get rid of...
But how much can you pull it apart before it doesn't stick together?
If you got rid of their back... there's 4 players in that defense you can't lose. Earl Thomas, Cam Chancellor, Richard Sherman, and Bobby Wagner. Bobby Wagner's going to win linebacker of the year. Him and Kuechly are 1 and 2. Okay? You can't lose those 4. Kuechly,
K-U-E?
Kuechly.
Yeah, whatever.
Doesn't
matter.
Okay?
Just nitpicking.
You can't lose those 4. Now you have another corner who's not bad. Your defensive line's not bad. But if you lose anyone on that defensive line, you're done. Because then Bobby Wagner's not as effective. Then your safeties have to play up more. Now you're going to have...
gaps in the back.
Yeah, well, now the reason why Richard Sherman is so successful, and a lot of people don't understand this, he's a good corner for the system he's in. If he had to play one-on-one covered corner against the best corners or best running back, the wide receivers in the league, he couldn't do it by himself. What I mean by that is the way they're set up is imagine it like this, and you got 2 guys over top. He plays the guy, forces him outside, and he's got help over top every single time. That's why he is so good. They bracket him. They call it the triangle. Okay. Now, if he played where Peterson, whatever. I think it's Patrick Peterson or whatever. Corner for Arizona and Revis. Okay. There's another example. They can go anywhere. Meaning, let's say they have him locked up on, I don't know. Let's say Gronkowski. And Gronkowski goes down in the slot. He'll follow him. Richard Sherman will stay out on the edge. So you can put your crappiest receiver and have Richard Sherman guard your crappiest receiver all game.
This has got to be the first time that the NFL Network ever alphabetized anything. Carpenter, Kevin Williams, Jerome Johnson, Anthony McCoy, Tavarius Jackson, Brian Maxwell, Malcolm Smith, O'Brien Schofield.
So that's outdated. They haven't had Tavarius Jackson for like 4 years, dude.
Are you sure he's not like the backup's backup?
Man, he might be the backup.
Like Kellen Moore on Detroit?
Well, he's just the backup. He's second string.
Well, I'm just saying, this is apparently...
Let me go to the Redskins. I can tell you if this is right or not. Go down to the Redskins. Okay, that's accurate.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm sorry.
I was just bringing up what I thought might have been a valid point. Like, what are you going to lose in free agency by giving Russell Wilson a huge-ass contract?
No, okay, let's say you take... Right now, I think Russell Wilson makes about $5 million a year. If you take 5 times that, if you take $15 million off that team, what are you losing? You're going to lose some big parts. So I think it's going to, after this year, that team's going to be in decline significantly. Because I do like Russell Wilson. I think he's a stand-up guy, and I think he's a really tough player. Yeah.
Indianapolis, Reggie Wayne, Hakeem Nicks, Matt Hasselbeck, Corey Redding, Darius Butler, Josh Gordy, Philip Maola, Sergio Brown, Mike Adams, Josh Cribbs, and Ahmad Bradshaw. Give Luck the contract. Just give him the damn contract.
If you give him that contract, you can't get any receiver. There's 3 of your receivers right
there. And what have they done for me lately?
Well, Reggie Wayne, you should retire. I'm sorry.
It's time to go, buddy.
Since your ACL tear,
bye-bye.
It's nothing personal. It is personal because you suck in fantasy this year.
Yeah, but I mean, look at this. We got 2 safeties, a defensive end, 2 cornerbacks, another defensive end.
Well, who says they start? Those might be backups too. But I mean, definitely the receivers are notable. So is Redding starts.
Yeah, Matt Hasselbeck
and Ahmad Bradshaw. You definitely need to
bye. Just
you do have some free agents that could probably get a running back from. Like for example, Marshawn Lynch is going to be free agent.
These are unrestricted free agents. They can do whatever they want.
Yeah, you got Marshawn Lynch, you got Murray, and you also have Adrian Peterson. Now, real quickly on Adrian Peterson, I have my personal belief that Adrian Peterson will be playing for Dallas Cowboys next year.
Well, after that conversation, how could you deny that?
How Can you imagine Adrian Peterson behind the best offensive line in the NFL?
Who's got more money? Well, and then look at that.
He
Look
cares
at that.
about money. He just wants to play for a winner.
Look at that combo. DeMarco Murray, Adrian Peterson coming
They
at
won't
you.
have DeMarco Murray.
You think they're
If
gonna
you
let
get
him
one,
go
you
if he
can't
gets
have the
Adrian
other.
Peterson? Yeah, but imagine that combo.
Well, okay.
If for whatever reason, Jerry, and it's your world, we're all just living in it. That's a well-established fact, judging by your stadium. At least that's what I'm told. You get those two in your backfield, and I don't know, for shits and giggles, put them both back here. See what
You don't
happens.
have enough money.
Okay, see what
They
happens.
gotta sign Des Bryant. They have to get a running back. Now it might not be Murray. They might just go with their two backups because their two backups aren't good.
And let me get back up to D.
You also got
Since when? Damn it, NFL Network. You never alphabetize anything, but this is the one list that you alphabetize?
They always do.
Okay, they got Doug Free. Apparently he should come cheap.
Des
Des Bryant, Jeremy Parnell, DeMarco Murray, Bruce Carter, Justin Durant, Anthony Spencer, George Selvey, Nick Hayden, Rolando McClain, no relation to John McClain, Dwayne Harris, and Sterling Moore.
Yeah, they got a whole defense. They got a freaking.
I don't think
they'll
they
have
can
Sean
give up
Lee
Sterling
back.
Moore.
They'll have Sean Lee back.
I don't think they should pass on Sterling Moore. I think they should hold on to him. I think he was a key part of that.
There's a bunch of guys in there. There's Carter. There's a bunch of guys they probably need to hang on to, but
that was the one that was most. You give me most improved defense, Dallas this year. Most improved defense.
Well, when
Well,
you're,
no,
when
Buffalo. Sorry.
When you're well, yeah. I mean,
Most improved offense.
I mean,
Dallas.
no, Dallas has always had a good offense. I would say most improved offense. God,
I don't know. Tony calmed down. They kind of like let him do his job.
I can tell you why. They got an offensive coordinator rather than letting Jason Garrett do it. Jason Garrett likes to throw the ball. That's why.
No, they had a
also
more balanced offensive attack, which really helped them, in my opinion. And I hate Dallas.
Most improved offense. I don't think about it. I would say the Patriots.
They're always good.
Last year they were not good because Gronkowski was hurt most of the season.
Where'd they finish?
In offense?
No,
They finished in the AFC Championship game because Tom Brady carried them.
Okay. So no, screw that. You're not allowed to say that.
That's a team. That's a
It
team
doesn't
thing.
matter.
Name me one receiver they had this year that was on the team last year.
It doesn't matter. The offense isn't improved. They're still just as good as they've always
No,
been.
they're better this year than they were last year.
I think Dallas is a lot better this year than they were
I
last
would
year.
have said-
Over the last 10 years.
As a team, not on the offensive side of the ball.
The cat's
Strictly.
coming up. She's pissed.
Huh?
She's coming up. She's coming after you.
Cat.
Get him.
Cat's blocking the camera. No, wait for my close up.
It's like Jaws.
Yeah. Think about that.
See, that's why people like this, is because we don't edit any of this.
I would definitely say Denver or the Bills are definitely the most improved defense. That defense.
Yeah, I correct myself. The Bills are the most improved defense.
Most improved offense.
Because you look at your top 10 teams, and they're always there. I'm talking about that person that came from the bottom 20
Cowboys
and
have
came
always
back
had a good
up.
offense. That's why a lot of people said they're going to score points, but their defense is going to let them down. They scored points last year. Romo had more passing yards last year than he had this year.
I can't give it to the Patriots because they're always in that top 10. I'm talking about
I'm
that person on
talking
this
about
end
their
of it.
production. You're on the NFL Network. You can look.
But where's the fun in that? I'd rather argue.
Okay, scroll through the team names. Let me look through. Cleveland might have been an improvement.
Cleveland was a definite improvement. Cincy was
No.
the same. Chicago, nothing.
They could have been the best, but
Carolina,
no.
no.
They
didn't
dropped
draft
out.
enough.
No,
Baltimore, no.
Falcons,
Atlanta,
no.
no.
Arizona, no.
Arizona, no.
Arizona might be up there for defense also. They were good last year also. So.
Denver, no. Detroit,
maybe.
Yeah, Detroit's on my list.
Adding Golden Tate really helped them.
Green Bay.
Hold on. I will say a good argument for Detroit is the fact they didn't have Megatron most year and they're still pretty good on offense.
That says a lot for Matt Stafford.
Yes.
Houston, no.
Colts, maybe.
But
Maybe.
things they added didn't really make them more dynamic.
But they, okay, I would say they're about the same. Then.
Jacksonville,
Chiefs,
Kansas City.
they can get really good this offseason. They get some receivers.
They're right in the right spot in
Yes.
the draft too. They're in a good spot.
You have what's her name's going down. You have
Mariota's going to drop a couple of spots.
Denver. Well, I don't think they need Mariota. They need receivers, not quarterback. They have Alex Smith.
I'm just reevaluating the draft.
Oh.
And the Eagles are going to get Mariota. So
Get that big kid. I can't think of his name from Alabama.
big kid from Alabama.
Amari Cooper?
Is that him?
Yeah, I think that's his name. Amari Cooper. Get him. That'll really help you.
Dolphins, no. Minnesota, no. New England, I'm not in
Saints, they dropped off
no.
this year.
Jets.
Here's how good Drew Brees is. Drew Brees had 48 touchdowns and like 15 interceptions this year, and that was a bad year for him. That's how good he is.
That's how good the team is around him. That with that, he still couldn't establish a winning record.
Giants, no. Raiders, no. Steelers, maybe.
Well, with the but they had both of those pieces last year. They just didn't fit together as well.
There's a significant increase from last year to this year because I did have Ben Roethlisberger in my fantasy, and he's way better this year.
Yeah,
Eagles did less this year because LaShawn McCoy didn't do anything. San Diego.
Chargers. Well, they brought in Sanchez.
I'd have picked the Chargers if they wouldn't have dropped off midway through the season. They were looking great.
They had great production. 49ers got worse. Seattle.
About the same.
Yeah.
They actually got worse because they lost 2 players. They lost Golden Tate and Percy Harvin. St. Louis worse because the quarterback got injured. They actually got better. Michael Turner is a stud. They got Michael Turner this year, and Michael Evans. Mike Evans,
yeah.
Big receiver. God, he looked good.
Tennessee and Washington.
I would say either the Patriots or the Steelers. And
I'll go with the Steelers.
I would lean towards the Steelers.
I can't really give the Patriots a lot of credit because they're always there.
Always
in that top 10 team.
I'd have given the Chargers if they were consistent all year. Like they looked really good at the end of the season.
And they did.
And then they just dropped off.
Yeah, like Phillip Rivers put down the bolo tie and they almost
who would be another one that I would think?
Carolina's improved.
Who is the most improved? I'll give you this. Cowboys are the most improved team.
Overall?
Oh,
hands down.
Most improved team overall.
Hands down.
I'll give you that one, but I won't say their offense is always good. That's what they focus on. Who you think? Okay, well, now we're on this. Who's your front runner to be good next year? Who are your like top 2 or 3 in each conference that you think will turn it around and be good next year, or will stay good?
We had 5 coaching shakeups.
I think Arizona from the NFC.
I think Oakland's actually going to be competitive next year. I don't think they're going to be winners, but they're going to be competitive. I'll put it to you that way. They're going to have at least 6 wins.
I got Arizona. For some reason, I have a feeling the Cowboys can be good, but I think that being good is going to get to their head a little bit, and they're going to drop off.
Yeah, I'll give you that on that team. Wow.
Green Bay?
No, I'm looking at Detroit. They got nothing but fucking defense on the line.
I don't think they're going to re-sign Sue they're going to sign Sue or Fairley.
They're not going to get both. Yeah, there's going to be too much money involved in that.
I think it's going to be Arizona. I think the Redskins are going to turn around next year. Got it. They got the offensive lines coach from the Cowboys.
Wow, and
Bill Callahan.
Shit, look at Green Bay. Raji, Cobb, Kuhn, Tolson. Oh, fuck Tolson.
I told you that was a third-string quarterback.
I shouldn't say that. I shouldn't say fuck Tolson.
He's a douche. He's a douche.
Houston has a chance.
Hakeem Jackson.
With the right management,
if they get a quarterback.
The right management and a good draft, Houston has a shot at being the most improved team next year.
I don't think there's much to improve on. All you need is a quarterback and you're fine. Your running backs are good. They still have Johnson, and they still have Owen Daniels as their tight end.
And Watt would take a $30 million pay cut just to stay with the team because he actually.
You're going to have Janavian Clowney all next year. He's going to be healthy next year. Imagine how good that defense is going to be with him.
Yeah, get rid of Ryan Mallett. Let him go. You don't need him.
You don't know. He only played 2 games.
You don't need him.
He only played 2 games.
You don't need him.
Who would be your quarterback? Tell you what, Russell Wilson, go play for them.
Yeah, take that contract.
Go play for them.
You want multiple Super Bowls more than because this is it. Let's be honest. This is it with the Seahawks. If you get this one, that'll probably be your life.
I do think he will get a large contract just based on the market. You know how many teams would pay for him?
But the bigger contract he gets, the less money they have to do with anybody else.
I agree with you. I'm just okay.
Are we yelling at each other in agreement again?
Yes, we are.
That's a Matt Redding.
Check my plan. I got to. If I don't check it, they steal my stuff. Okay.
I'm not even taking a smoke break.
So who would be your 3 teams you think are going to be contenders next year, or going to be Top 3 teams in each division. Let's just go top 3 teams in each division. A conference, not division. That'd be dumb. Each conference.
Top 3 in each division. We might as well go and rank
Arizona.
NFC.
Yeah, let's go to NFC first.
Okay.
Arizona.
Green Bay. Green Bay's always a contender.
Arizona. I think the Redskins are going to do good next year. That's my heart speaking.
That's your heart. Yeah, you're not speaking through proper.
I think channels. Maybe the Saints will turn around, but I want to see Green Bay.
Let's just go each conference. Green Bay's going to take the North again. There's no one.
You mean division?
Well,
now
the North. Well, okay. Top team each division. That's easier.
Okay.
Than top 3 overall.
NFC North.
Green Bay's going to take it again. I don't think Detroit's going to be able to get their defense back.
I agree with you. It's not really.
And let's
you never know.
The Vikings and the Bears.
If there's a team that could turn around, it's the Bears.
2 years
because of Fox.
2 year turnaround.
You never know. You never know.
2 years.
He turned around the Denver in 1 year.
And he had Elway and he had Manning.
We also had Tim Tebow. The first year he turned around.
Tebow.
But
how that turned out.
With your disdain towards Tim Tebow.
I like him. He's just not a good quarterback.
He's a great quarterback.
Okay, let's go to the West.
Okay, Seattle or Arizona. I don't think 49ers are going to be good. As long as they got Colin Kaepernick as their quarterback. And
I go with Arizona because I don't think any team can do it 3 years in a row.
I think it'll be down to Arizona or
I'll go with Arizona.
Seahawks.
South?
Arizona still needs a quarterback, but okay, South.
No.
You have if Carolina got what's his name, some weapons, that would be a pretty good team because their defense is really good.
But are they going to be able to do that with their low draft position?
They could probably sign some receivers. I would say I like New Orleans. I want New Orleans to win it, but I would say I'm going to take a dark horse.
I'm going to take Atlanta.
They don't have a coach yet.
Doesn't even matter.
I would take Tampa.
I'll take Atlanta. I think they were closer.
I think Lovie Smith, after 1 year, he knows what he needs and like what he can work with, and he's a good football coach. So I'll give. Plus, you got Mike Evans. If they just get a decent quarterback, that team's set.
All right, the East, you already chose the Redskins. I'm not even going to argue with you.
It's gonna be that. I said they're going to turn around. It's going to be between them and the Cowboys. I just don't see the. I think Chip Kelly's system is starting to they're starting to find the chinks in the armor of that system.
I think as soon as Chip Kelly gets Marcus Mariota, it's going to be lights out in that division.
I disagree with that.
Well, you're allowed to disagree. AFC West. I say the Broncos are going to stay on top.
I think Chiefs.
You think
they get one good receiver. One good receiver. They have two.
Didn't they go the whole entire season without a touchdown?
To a receiver, yes.
Mm-hmm.
The tight ends. They have 2 good tight ends. They have 2 good running backs.
So they just need one part.
Yes,
and they're loaded up in the draft at 9-7, and they could get it.
Yes. Well, they could probably get some in free agency too, because they have a lot of salary cap. So that's why I think Chiefs.
I think the Colts are going to stay atop of the South.
Texans.
Do you think they're going to finally come up if they get a quarterback?
Well, yeah.
Steelers are going to reign in the North unless something amazing happens in Cleveland.
Or Cincinnati.
They're not high enough in it.
I'm going to take the Ravens. Just because of consistency.
Oh, yeah, I'll go with that. And I say the Bills get 2 more pieces. I think they're on fire.
I think they're 1 more year away.
I think they're 2 pieces away.
Well, you got to also consider the fact that they have Rex Ryan as a coach. I think
Miami is 2 pieces away from that.
New England will win that division.
I
think their biggest threat will be the Buffalo Bills. Miami was 6-3 midway through the season, and they just collapsed.
Yeah, they just fell on themselves.
I don't think the Jets are going to do anything. Who's going to be the worst team in every division? Jets, Cleveland, Texans. I got Jaguars being better than Texans because now you got Blake Bortles having an extra year in his belt.
I'm going to drop the Titans. I'm going to leave them where they're at.
Ooh,
let's do. Raiders. They're 2 years away from being awesome.
Giants.
Yeah.
Vikings.
Vikings. No, I'll give John Fox credit. He's going to get them out of the basement, but they're not going to the top 4 yet.
Vikings. Yeah. Okay. Maybe Detroit if they lose both Farley and Sue. Yeah, you guys relying on your offense, which I like Stafford, but
He's not that
You
good.
can't rely on just him.
Tampa Bay's going to stay where they're at.
No, I think Atlanta is going to drop down there because they don't even have a coach yet. They're going to lose all their weapons. The defense is god awful.
I disagree, but we'll see. And
49ers.
Wow. Yeah, 49ers are going to the basement next year.
St. Louis did all that this year with no quarterback. No real offense to speak of. And they were the best 6-10 team you'll ever see. Seriously.
3 NFC championship games and you fired. Whatever. I'm over it.
I know you're not over it. You just don't want to talk about it anymore at the moment.
Bitches. Little pieces of shit. Build me a throne.
Now, a little bit of nerd stuff.
Just a little bit, because there ain't a whole lot going on in nerddom. Flash came back last night. Did you see it? I saw it.
I didn't get to see it yet.
Agent Carter, watched first 3 episodes. Fun. Definitely fun. 100% agreement on that.
All right, let me just. Well, this week in general, because last week they went on hiatus because of the national title game.
Oh, and thank you to the president for ruining primetime television last night.
Yeah.
You're a dick. I fucking hate you. I can't wait till you're out of office.
Yeah.
Get out of my life.
Hold on. I got a bitch about the president's little State of the Union.
What about our rule?
Give me 5 seconds.
What about our rule?
5
you said no.
seconds.
He said
he
no.
Sits there and says.
Podcast 1.
He sits there and said, "We're not going to stand for terrorism. We're going to do what we've always done. We're going to take terrorism down. Yada 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 yada." Yet there's still ISIS. We haven't dealt with that yet. There's a coup going on in
We're not even dealing with that. That's the worst part.
Yeah. There's a coup going on. There's terrorists have Japanese diplomats they're going to execute with them not paid X amount of dollars. You have all this crap going. What?
On Friday all day.
Yeah. Seriously. And you're going to be like, we're going to do what we've always done. Pound our chest. No. You haven't done shit.
You're going to fuck my entire weekend by killing 2 Japanese people. Don't do it on a Friday. Do this shit on a Monday.
Okay. Off the. That's going to piss me off and I'll go off on a tangent.
Yeah.
Okay. Gotham, Arrow, and Flash are back on this week. Gotham, Flash on Arrow's on tonight, right?
Arrow's on tonight. Did not catch Gotham yet. I chose to watch Third Party Carter and Flash.
I got you. I feel so good about myself whenever we see a villain in Gotham, and I'm like, I think that's this villain. I think it's that villain. Yeah, they actually called him that now. They actually called him an executioner. Like Copperhead. It's called Copperhead. I love it. I just get a little bit of mental high when that happens.
Let's catch a bug.
So Gotham was great. You
want to
see
get high?
it.
No,
You
not
didn't
yet.
see it, so
I'll watch it.
We'll talk about it
Tonight?
I'll just go and spoil it for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, Executioner is the villain, which I called it. Which if they go to the Batman story, that's going to change. He's going to change a little bit. But that villain, the guy who plays him, has actually had a good stint on Supernatural for a while. Was it Satan or was it like son or like one of Satan's like right hand man or whatever, the King of the Demons or something. I don't know, something like that. He had a good stint on there. He did a good job. That guy did a great job acting. Can't wait to watch Flash and Arrow. I don't have internet at my house anymore, so I have to wait. When you relied upon the internet to get all your stuff to watch and you don't have it, it kind of hinders your life a little bit. What are you reading in Chinese?
I can't read Chinese. No. Transformers news.
Mandarin. That looks like an upside down house with a goat on it. Okay. This really sucks, but bunch of dropouts of Suicide Squad.
Wow.
2 of them in the last week.
Did we get confirmation on Will Smith?
I didn't get a confirmation, but I will go ahead and double check that real quick. Will Smith dropped.
Because we know what was the other guy?
Tom Hardy.
Tom Hardy dropped out.
I'm curious as to why. Now, if him and Will Smith, Tom Hardy. That's just
didn't Tom Hardy play Bane?
Yeah.
Okay.
It just says no. It doesn't say anything about Will Smith.
Okay, what Will Smith still?
Will Smith is still.
I thought I heard Will Smith.
That's what you told me. You told me the wrong.
Well, that's what I thought. I apologize. I was drinking at the time. I seem to have
You
that
always
habit.
say that. I was drinking.
Hey, I came up with the best, worst idea I ever had. In my head, it sounded amazing. When I verbalized it, It was really, really bad. So we're just gonna leave it at that.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah, that in my head it sounded amazing. It sounded like the coolest thing that I've ever thought of in my entire life.
Gay throne, or
Yeah, but after I keep talking about it, I could see how it would be very bigoted and disrespectful. I realized the error of my ways.
You were drinking though, so it's
I was
okay.
drinking. It's not an excuse. It was just it.
Oh, there's a weather advisory.
It sounded really awesome in my head.
Just give you.
And you know how that is because you got things that sound great in your head, and then you verbalize them. You're like,
That was
not
stupid.
so much. That wasn't near as cool as it sounded in my brain.
There's a weather advisory. Just so you know, for tonight.
You know, it's Garrett County, and it might snow. Holy shit! Y'all better get your bread now and milk. 'Cause
By
they're gonna stop making that shit tomorrow when the weather goes to shit.
10 o'clock tonight, we're gonna have 50% chance of precipitation.
It's supposed to be 100%. Did you see any rain today?
It's gonna snow all the way till 8 a.m., 7 a.m.
Bring it.
Bring it on, bitches. Garrett County, we're used to
Four-wheel
shit.
drive and
I do want to throw a quick shout out because we don't have a lot of stuff to talk about, obviously.
Yeah.
The first guy that Arrow fought on the TV show, it's one of the guys that kidnapped him when he first came back in the first episode. They like fought his way out or whatever. Remember that?
What are we talking about?
On Arrow, the first ever episode of Arrow, when he came back and then someone quote unquote kidnapped him, and he just kicked the guy's ass.
Okay.
Okay. The actor who I'm going to go ahead and show you his picture because you'll know him. He's also in Mortal Kombat. The actor who played him. Hold on. Dun, 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 dun. Pull that song. This guy, Darren Shalaby. He played.
He looks like a, go back to that one picture. He looks like a younger Macho Man.
He was also in 300, but anyway, he passed away this weekend. 42 years. I think it was a drug. I think it was drugs, but I don't know for sure. I just know he was found dead.
Salut.
Usually when that happens, it's a drug overdose.
Salut.
So long, farewell.
Peter saying goodbye.
Oh, you know that, do you?
Shut up. Who doesn't?
I know a lot of people that don't know that.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Never saw The Sound of Music.
Seriously, I've seen The Sound of Music.
That's pretty sad.
I know every song in there.
It's like people who've never been through a small world. You gotta go. It sucks, but you gotta do it.
So long, farewell.
Isn't that the whole thing where they go, "Don't dear a female"?
No.
I'm thinking of Fossil.
You're thinking of
another one.
Yeah, I can't think of the name of that song. I know which one you're talking about. I just can't think of the name. Okay, hold on. Let me get that picture. Yeah, Darian Shalaby. Pretty ripped dude, but yeah, Arrow kicks his ass first episode because he quote unquote kidnaps him, which he actually paid him to kidnap him just to test himself.
He looks like a younger Macho Man. I maintain. Last night's episode of The Flash, Prison Break reunion. The two villains, really awesome stuff. I was happy.
Hold on, let me get the picture from Mortal Kombat.
Mortal Kombat. Every time I hear that,
that's why. Okay, he played Kano.
Oh yeah, he looks like the same guy, only with face makeup.
So I want to shout to him. He died. Sucks, dude. I'll be doing drugs. Drugs are bad.
How am I not getting pictures from Toy Fair in Hong Kong?
You're looking for toys while we're doing a podcast. Don't you ever bitch at me about playing my freemium game.
I am me doing that.
So yeah, Tom Hardy dropped out of the movie.
I would like to see a reason why. I really would, because if anyone was going to drop out of that movie for quote unquote, this is my reason for doing that, Will Smith would be the one who was playing Deadshot. They'd be like, I don't want my kids to see it. But granted, his kid's like old enough to differentiate the difference between right and wrong now, so no harm about.
He's not the first one to drop out of a major role like that. After like it being a big deal that he got the role. Yeah, you ever seen Sons of Anarchy?
No. I was pissed off that they took the Shield off the air to make Sons of Anarchy. So
that's just a second. Drop. God dang it! Why can't I type? God. From Suicide Squad. Maybe you read the script and was like, this sucks.
I can't believe Will Smith read the script and said this sucks and stayed. Yeah, I can. After Earth.
Well, he did that with his son. That's why.
Just saying.
Okay.
That movie sucked.
Okay, he's not the first one to really like get a big role like that and then drop out.
Didn't Will Smith drop out of The Matrix?
No, he was the first one they had picked to be in the Matrix. That's the one they wanted.
He didn't take the job.
And they had someone else from Morpheus too. I think it was Samuel Jackson.
I am undecided on how I feel about that. I will honestly have to stab myself in the foot later to come up with a decision.
Okay, let me read this real quick. Also, why? Why would they pick Jake
Gyllenhaal? Yeah, I have no idea.
Tom Hardy is freaking jacked, and Gyllenhaal is a little pussy.
Maybe.
Oh, he said he left because he has too many like projects going on. He doesn't think he has the time to really commit to it and do a good job.
Okay, in other words, I didn't like the script.
Say so. Just like he's starring in Mad Max Fury Road. So he's apparently they're filming those at the same time.
Fury Road is coming out this year.
It's also scheduled.
Fury Road comes out.
Yeah, and that's when they're filming. He has to be on. There's like a tour of like showing them like.
Oh, so he's got to do the red carpet.
Yeah,
yes.
He has to do all the red carpet. Yes. I'll give you a great example of someone who was like perfect for a role and then like dropped out of it. Now they got someone who's crappy for the role. Obviously, I'm gonna lose my man card here. The movie 50 Shades of Grey. That's why I asked you if you've seen Sons of Anarchy. Like, you know who the guy who plays Jax? You ever actually seen
character?
Yeah, the blonde guy.
Yeah.
He was supposed to be the main character in 50 Shades of Grey. Which, I'll just show you a picture of what he looks like when he's like all shaved and cut and like.
I could see him as being a fairly attractive, business-looking dude.
I got the perfect picture. Just give me a second. Gotta Google it.
I just agreed with him, and he still has to prove his point.
I'm just showing you. Well, a bunch of girls I work with, I was like telling them like they had it initially because they didn't pay attention. They just wanted to see the movie.
They're hoping to see some hot penis.
I'm not gonna see any.
Yeah, because it's gonna be all up in her.
Oh. Well, it's probably. I mean, that's his name. Hunnam. Well, he was initially picked to be Christian Grey, which I hated the person they had for the main female character. God dang, did I have a good choice for that movie?
That guy, the guy they got doing it doesn't look like. It looks like he pulls off that whole like fucking I'm a billionaire dick.
Yeah, but he doesn't pull off the. If you read the books, the guy's messed up in the head, which is why he's the way he is.
Aren't we all? Did not read the books. He cleans up nicely.
No. There's one I'm looking for where he's completely shaved, like his face.
Are you really going to spend like 10 minutes looking for a picture while we're talking?
You just spent 10 minutes looking at toys.
So you were talking.
So. Okay, I'm gonna search. I'm gonna hit next one more time. If I don't find it, I'll find it. So I'm not gonna worry about it.
I have no desire to see 50 Shades of Grey.
I have to. My girlfriend wants to see it for Valentine's Day, so I will.
Okay, well, you lost. That's your first main card vote.
So you can say what you want.
Well, that's for deciding who you thought should play the main character in that.
What do you mean?
I'm still saying your main card's a vote. You get 3 a week. You lost 1.
Whatever. You say so.
If you ever lose 3, you have to wear a tutu and do ballet in the next podcast.
Okay. You say so. But yeah, he was supposed to. He initially was picked. I think he read the script and he quit because he said the pressure was too much for him.
There's a lot of pressure on that movie. I do not disagree with him in one bit. There was a lot of pressure on that movie. There are little girls' expectations that need to be met.
That is going to be the same exact impact that whole Twilight crap had. When I was in college, I went and saw like a therapist, and she was talking about how whenever Twilight came out, and we're really getting off on a tangent here.
Yeah, no shit.
Like the rate of girls breaking up with their boyfriends went through the roof. Like a lot of girls broke up with their boyfriends after that movie because they were expecting the perfect guy. And no guy could, quote, live up to the, quote, expectations of how that guy was.
Nobody's perfect.
In Twilight. And I have a theory that the same thing's going to happen out of this Twilight movie. Or after this. I had Emma Watson pegged to be the perfect girl in that movie. if you read the book and as you read the book, you imagine Emma Watson doing everything in it. It makes complete sense. Her and initially I had Ryan Gosling as Christian Grey.
Yeah, I'll go with Emma Watson in that role. I see her doing it.
She looks perfect. She doesn't have. Okay, in the movie,
she's unassumingly pretty.
Yes, that is why I picked her. She's a very gorgeous girl, but she doesn't have to. Like, she can just be all natural and look good. She just has that kind of like.
She has that unassuming beauty. It's not forced beauty. It's just beauty.
And
it's almost like it's undiscovered beauty.
Yeah,
like if you look at her in one light, you're like, oh well, that girl's semi-attractive. You look at her in another light, she's like, hey.
She's a girl that can walk in wearing like sweatpants and like a t-shirt and nothing tight and like, yeah, she's a cute girl. Then she'll put on a dress and just blow your mind away.
Yes, I'll go with that.
That's the image I had of her. So, and after like all the Harry Potter movies and stuff, and seeing her grow up and realize that she just has she's always gonna have this adorable face. She's always gonna have. She had the look, and she's also the same age as the fucking girl in the movie. The girl they got is like 33 years old.
They probably got her for a lot less money.
Maybe that might be true.
Because I don't think anyone was gonna bet the farm on this movie because you usually don't bet the farm on a drama. Usually dramas are made for a little bit of money, and most of your money is spent in acting or production value.
I have 12 movies. I need to get rid of 2.
All right. We need to wrap this up because Jesse's going to pick up the nephew, so that means I got to watch my boy.
All right, so we're going to do our top 10 list. We didn't do one last week. Sucks to be you guys.
Sorry you missed out.
We're going to do our top 10 list. Top 10 list this week is top 10 movies of 2014.
He did research. I picked the first 10 that came to my mind because they're still fresh in my mind and they were good enough to reference. And I'm actually going in order of the time that I thought of them. So this is how I'm going. Guardians of the Galaxy, Winter Soldier, Days of Future Past, Amazing Spider-Man 2, The Lego Movie, A Million Ways to Die in the West, Expendables 3, Let's Be Cops, Lucy, and Need for Speed. That was 11, but they're all really good movies. In my opinion. Just my opinion.
What was your favorite?
Guardians of the Galaxy.
Okay.
Guardians rules. It was the best movie last year.
Well, I'm ranking them real quick.
I just shot through it. And I know a lot of people are going to give me shit on Lucy. Sorry. I like to watch that movie with my pre-Matrix mind. I like to let that be the movie that blew open the world for me. And I honestly believe had that script been submitted around the time that The Matrix was out, it would have been up there, right under it, as far as things that blew your mind clear out of the water.
By the way, she will be starring in Ghost in the Shells. She is gigged to have that. I heard a lot of people.
I made you watch that.
Yeah, I watched it.
I loved it.
I didn't like it.
I loved it, but then again, I've always loved anime. Need for Speed. If you're denying that movie, you're not getting enough credit because it was well performed, well acted, well written, well scripted. It actually, I thought it was just going to be a dumbass like the Mortal Kombat movie was, the Street Fighter movie was. You watched it, it was okay, you had some popcorn, then you walked out the door. That was actually enticing. It brought you in, it sucked you back in. I thought it was really, really good. Other than that, everything else is in your face. And for those of you who hate the Expendables 3, why did you chalk it up to be more than what it was? It was an action movie and a reason to go to the movies and eat popcorn and watch shit explode and die. That's all it was.
Just get to watch Ronda Rousey kick the shit out of guys.
Yeah, which is always fun.
Okay, my top 10. I'm going to give some honorable mention real quick. Expendables 3, Lucy, 300 Rise of Empire. I'm not much of a chick flick dude, but Fault in Our Stars was a very good movie.
That was his man card. It's sitting in the wall.
It was a very good movie. I don't care. The mentality and the point of the movie is very, very good. Okay, that's all I'm trying to say. Okay, would I watch it over and over again? No. Okay, Ninja Turtles movie, I'll give that up there, but
yeah, honorable mentions all it gets.
300 Rise of an Empire, I'd take that out of my top
10. It was popcorn cinema.
It was straight up popcorn cinema. Didn't like Transformers, didn't like Godzilla.
I didn't even mention the Transformers, so what does that say about that movie?
It was horrible.
That fucking
Number 10, Need for Speed, like he said, very good movie. I was surprised how good it was. I don't like car movies. The only car movies I really like are Fast and Furious, Gone in 60 Seconds, and now Need for Speed, which I saw Gone in 60 Seconds last night. I watched it again. So good.
The original or the Nicolas Cage?
Nicolas Cage one.
See the original too. The
original. I have the original.
The original?
Yeah, original.
It's so much
I like Angelina Jolie.
Watch Bullet right after you get
Okay,
that. Angelina Jolie is hot.
Number 9, Spider-Man 2.
The Amazing Spider-Man.
The Amazing Spider-Man.
Not to be confused with that Tobey Maguire bullshit.
Tobey Maguire bullshit is
I don't care. Whatever. That will be an argument.
Spider-Man.
We could spend an entire 2 hours.
We could. We could literally spend 2 hours arguing. Spider-Man 2. It's good. It's good send-off. It's a good, decent story. Apparently, they're segueing into the Sinister Six.
Well,
which is coming out soon.
It's going to be a thing.
Number 8, Let's Be Cops.
That was fun.
The joke of the year. If you haven't seen the movie,
go see the movie.
They pretend to be cops and they accidentally get involved in like an actual investigation. And the one was it Wayne's?
Yeah, Damon Wayans Jr.
Damon Wayans Jr. dresses up like a reggae guy and he's like, "You look great." And I was like, "Look, I just got bitch slapped with Lil Wayne." Joke of the year. That
was good.
Number 7, When the Game Stands Tall. If you haven't got a chance to see this, go see it.
That's it. I enjoy the actor in it. I really do enjoy his work on Person of Interest. I don't know. I'm not a big.
Everything he's in has been pretty good. You ever seen Prison Break? Not Prison Break. Yeah.
Outlander. He was in Outlander. Are you
Not
talking about movie or show?
The movie with Sylvester Stallone.
Yeah.
He was in that. He was the guy running everything in the prison.
There's an oddball movie for you to go see, Outlander. Not the series that's airing right now, but the movie Outlander. He crashes in like Viking times, and he's an alien.
And there's like weird creatures trying to kill everyone.
Yeah, it's good stuff. Like it actually kind of builds on that where dragons come from in ancient history. Go see that.
When the Game Stands Tall.
Yes.
Very good football movie. Football and human movie. Very. God, just get a chance to go watch it.
I'll see it.
That's what I aspire to be like when I coach someday.
I just watched that Michael Moore shit like last year, and it's been out for a while.
Very good movie, isn't it?
It was a good movie.
Captain America, that's my number 6. Winter Soldier, just anything Marvel is.
They do such a good job.
You know what? I didn't throw Thor in that mix. I didn't throw the Thor movie.
The Dark World came out last year?
Yeah, I think so.
I don't remember seeing it when we buzzed through.
I'm not a huge.
I thought
it ended on like huge just ended bad because there's stuff at the end you don't know what's going on. You can guess, you can speculate, you don't know.
Well, the Marvel is the master of
they
that
are
at this point in time. They want you coming back to the next movie regardless of what the next movie is.
Thing with, like, every episode ends with like a cliffhanger on what's going to happen next. God,
thank God we're actually going to get the real Black Canary.
6. That was number 6. Number 5 is Fury. If you haven't had a chance to see Fury, very good World War II movie. Yeah. Very good World War II movie.
I usually watch everything Brad Pitt does.
So, if you get a chance to see it. Apparently it's very gory. I didn't find it that gory, but that's just me. I missed a movie in this. Shit. I just remember a movie I missed. I gotta give Equalizer with Denzel Washington.
Is that an honorable mention or is that a bump?
That's an honorable mention. I would bump that.
I need to see it yet. I'm kind of behind.
I would knock off what's number 9? I would knock off Spider-Man
for Equalizer.
Yeah.
Did you watch the series when you were a kid?
No.
Wow. I did.
Number 5 is
so
Fury.
I'm gonna have different expectations for it.
Days of Futures Past. Number 4.
Excellent. Thank God you fixed everything you fucking broke.
Yes.
Thank God.
Yes.
That first Wolverine movie never happened. Thank God.
Tell you what, man, Fassbender plays a good dickhead.
Definitely does.
That's the guy that plays Visual Nuts. That's young Magneto. He is gonna play. You ever played Assassin's Creed? No. They're making an Assassin's Creed movie, and he's gonna play Ezekiel.
Is that 15 or 16?
What?
Is that this year or next year?
I don't know what year. But he's playing the main character.
Oh, okay. Michael Fassbender?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Number 3, Draft Day. That movie, I saw it in theaters 3 times.
I didn't put it in here, but that I got to give him props on that. That was a damn good movie.
That was a good recommendation.
That was a damn good movie. And it had everything I love, like the angst of Draft Day with a little bit of football thrown in there.
I was on the edge of my seat the last 30 minutes of that movie. Like, what's he going to do?
When he crumpled up that paper, it's like, what the fuck's in the paper? I want to know what's on the paper. And then you find out, and it's like, wow, all of that was to come back to where you were plus 10.
And then how he fixed it after that.
Was brilliant.
God,
Brilliant.
that it would be up there, but these other two movies, you're gonna see why in a second. The other two movies are
The
just
only way that movie could have been better is the draft usually starts on Thursday night.
Yeah.
They should have released that movie on a Wednesday night to get you psyched for it.
yeah.
I think it would have done a lot better
Or
on
the
its
day
first
before
week
the
box
draft.
office.
Day before
Yeah,
the
the
draft.
Wednesday before the draft. To open it that night. But anyway. Sorry.
That movie was. I've watched that movie probably a dozen times. There's some movies you can't watch over and over again. We were talking about that earlier, like Monuments Men.
Mhm.
It's a good movie. The story's great, but you cannot watch that 30
Yeah.
times. After one time,
can't watch it
it's so
repetitively.
slow. You don't have a lot of action, and like you know the story. It doesn't like keep you rolling in. But
Rewatchability is key.
yes,
And
John.
everything we mentioned thus
Number
far has
2 is John Wick.
That's all I'm
I really enjoyed that movie. I've seen it twice. I will see it a third time. I will download the second it's available. It's a very good movie. I think we can all relate to it. Not trying to be a spoiler real quick. Basically a guy who was like a hitman for the mob, and he wanted out, and he had to do like some impossible task, but he did it. And he's out, and his wife, he gets out for a woman. His wife dies, and the last thing his wife does before she dies is get it like the day after she gets buried. She gets a puppy sent to him.
That's that. Who's in that? Who's the lead character in that?
Keanu Reeves.
Damn it! I want to see that.
Good movie.
Do I have?
Anyway, he gets a dog sent to him, and he
Now I'm pissed off.
accidentally comes across the Russian mob, and they want to buy his car, and the guy he tells him to fuck off, basically. And the guy goes back to his house, finds him, kicks the shit out of John Wick.
Isn't that douchebag from Game of Thrones in there? That no fucking
Plays Tyrion.
Yeah.
Tyrion.
No.
Or
Reek.
Theon Greyjoy.
Yeah.
Theon.
Reek.
And
He doesn't have a name.
and in it, that drives him and brings him out of retirement, and he takes down the entire Russian mob by himself.
So yeah.
Really good movie. We can all relate to that because I would feel the same exact way if someone broke into my house, stole my car. I mean, I can understand stealing my car. If I have the money, I don't really care as much. I just want to get it back. But the fact that someone would just fucking kill your dog.
Yeah, there's no sense.
Oh, God.
There's no sense in that. What'd your dog do? And it was a puppy. It wasn't like
Yeah,
it
it
was.
Puppy is such a good bullshit.
God, fucking kill a dog.
So I really, really enjoyed that movie. I recommend anyone watch that. And number 1 movie of the year was Guardians of the Galaxy. The
Hands
best
down.
Marvel movie so far. I think it's better than the Avengers. This one had character. This one had charm. It was very well done. It was a very good movie.
It added the one thing that every other Marvel was missing to this point, and that was heart. It went. Come on, seriously, Groot. Seriously, as simplistic as that character was, his exploration at the end of that film, it added heart to it. It was just that one thing that was missing from all the Marvel movies before, and it just brought it totally around. And then the back reference material, damn it, if you talk about a movie that has rewatchability, rewatch that thing and pause it when they're doing the scans for the prison scene. You will get so much comedy out of what's written on the screen that scrolled up too fast that you couldn't see it. It's worth it just to do that. You'll spend hours doing it, but do it. It's worth it.
Talk about like something. I feel like
It's like
my skin bit me. My skin bit me. You ever have your skin pinch you? Move a certain
I was
way,
right
your
there.
skin
You no
pinches.
fucking flies in this house.
But I know skin just either my necklace maybe pulled on some hair or something. But
All right. Well, I'm gonna have to let you finish solo because Jesse's got to go pick up.
I'm
the
almost
bike.
done. Real quick. What's my thought? All-Star cast. All-Star cast. That
Brilliant cast. Zoe Saldana, best performance she's done.
That girl looks hot in any color.
Dave,
Seriously.
Dave Bautista, seriously. That was like a rabbit out of the hat. They're
Yeah.
like, Dave Bautista's going to be in a movie. And I'm like, what's he going to say? I am Groot? No, he
That
actually
was
does a
Vin Diesel.
fantastic job. And then
He
Vin
was so
Diesel
funny.
gets the I am Groot role. And he does it so well that you want him to do
His
it again.
culture is very literal. Any kind of metaphor goes over his head. Nothing goes over my head. Like fast reflex, I'm snatching so to the ground.
That's the best. And damn it, Bradley Cooper.
Rocket
Dude.
Raccoon.
You are just fucking amazing, dude. You're
Well, I'm gonna go
flat
see.
out amazing.
I'm going to see American Sniper tonight, so I will tell you how good that movie is. Have you seen it?
No, but you will probably go down in this decade that we're currently in as the best character actor of this decade. And I know Jim Carrey plays some characters, but that's comedic bullshit. I'm not even talking about that.
What do you mean by character actor?
Just he envelops himself in it. Have you seen the previews for
See,
American Sniper? Like,
as
I
much as-
believe, honestly, that he is Chris Kyle. Have you ever watched Chris Kyle?
Yeah.
I believe that he is, honest to God, Chris Kyle. When he plays face an A-team, I believe that he is honestly face an A-team. Would anyone, blindfolded, be able to pick out that that was Bradley Cooper's voice in Guardians of the Galaxy?
I honestly would.
I wouldn't have been able to. I honestly wouldn't have been able to. Just the way he can switch it up, and he does that guy he's doing at the time.
They have this
It's
new
amazing.
thing they do now, which I really like. Okay, like say you have like an older character, like say you have like Scooby-Doo, right? Instead of what they do now is they actually film you, with a camera in your face, saying it. Get your mouth motion.
Oh, you're gonna tell me because you saw the raccoon fucking making Bradley Cooper's mouth motions that you knew it was him?
No. I'm just saying
backhand
how
you
it's
on
cool
that shit.
because they do that. They also did that with Desolation of Smoke. By the way, we left out movies that came out in December.
Because nothing came out this year.
No. Hobbit. And then American Sniper, which I think American Sniper is going to be the best movie of 2015.
It came out in December.
Yeah, it did. Yes, it did.
Yeah, because it had to fit
December
in the
25th.
Oscar window. Son of a bitch. In limited release. Stop it! Unless it's wide release, it doesn't count. Get your shit straight.
Technically, I'm just saying, technically it did come out in December. But anyway,
Bradley Cooper deserves Best Actor. And he got snubbed. Fuckers.
I think he'll get Best Actor.
No, he got snubbed at the Oscars.
Who won the Best Actor?
No, he wasn't even in the nominations for the Oscars.
He better damn well be next year. My God.
He got snubbed.
As much as people are talking about American Sniper, this is supposed to be one of the best movies of this. This will be the decade-defining movie.
Every other awards genre were like, yeah, we gotta give this guy props. Oscars.
That's all about.
And they also snubbed Jennifer Aniston for her performance in Cake, which was probably her best performance ever because it was stripped down and naked and raw, and her just channeling her inner angst, man. It was whatever. I'm done.
Okay.
Fuck you, internet.
Guardians is very good. By the way, Vin Diesel's best performance, probably.
Seriously.
Groot.
That's just hateful.
I'm just kidding.
Didn't you see the pacifier? Oh yeah, you did apparently.
Yeah, I did.
He's content. I'll go pick up Racing.
Okay, well now I have to go watch my baby.
We got like 30 seconds left.
Okay.
Best
Go
Vin
ahead,
Diesel.
go ahead.
Real quick.
I got him. I can hear him. But what's your favorite movie last year? Don't look at the camera because I know you don't want your face on the camera. You're good.
Your butt's all over the camera. That's good.
Would you be nice?
That's
She'll hit you with. There's a brick in that thing.
my friend.
No, there's a brick in that thing.
Best movie 2014.
Favorite movie last year.
I don't know.
We both said, what was yours? My mom was Guardians. Guardians Galaxy.
I'm going with Guardians.
Yeah, that was good.
Okay.
That and Lego Movie.
Wife goes to Lego movie.
It was on my honorable mention, but not my favorite.
All right, the wife's gonna walk past the camera. Don't look at her.
Go. See? Nothing but bud. Oh, okay.
The wife doesn't like
real
our
quick,
harmless shenanigans.
Real quick and we're done. Best Vin Diesel movie. A Man Apart. That's my bet. That's my pick.
Damn, that was a good one. Can't threw that out.
Well, if best movies are probably the Fast movies, but best acting performance.
A Man Apart, that was really good, and he didn't even have a major role in it.
No, he was the main role. His wife and daughter were killed, weren't they? By like,
Was it A Man Apart?
yeah.
Which one am I thinking of that he was a van driver? It had Seth Green in it.
That wasn't Man Apart. No. Are you thinking of Italian Job?
That was Jason Statham.
Yeah. I'm pretty confident Man Apart was. What's looking for, Chad? Swag. Oh boy. See, this is real. I just flew that on him, and he's off on 10 minutes now. Pussy butt. Pussy butt.
Pussy butt.
Pussy butt.
All right, yeah, I think you're right about Amanda Park, but there was another movie where he's nothing more than a van driver. But he plays like a small role in it, but it's like a huge role in a small movie. Okay.
Hold on, I'm gonna look and see if I can find the movie you're talking about.
All right, Internet, I gotta go be a daddy.
All right, Internet, we're out of here.
Peace. We'll finish this up next week.
We will. See ya.